Hello everyone, welcome back to Nomifactory. Last episode we set up a bunch of automations for parallelized autocrafting with a bunch of machines. We have wire, plates, rods, alloys, and cable coating. We also set up a bunch of single block machines, so almost everything is automated now. It's very nice. And we capped off the episode with the vacuum freezer, in which we can make nichrome, and as you can see, everything has nichrome now. Like I said last time, this wasn't expensive at all. We have thousands of chrome, and nickel's fully automated from DML. It just took a very long time, literally all day, so it wasn't the greatest idea. We sort of wasted a bunch of time, but oh well. And there's also a few new EBFs on passive: silicon, canthal, nichrome, and steel. This recipe is insane, by the way. 4 wrought iron and 1 carbon for 4 steel in 2.5 seconds. I guess it is EV, so it's a lot of power, but it's so fast. And because the nichrome took forever, I've done a couple other stuff as well. We have coal dust and carbon. It's 1 coal for 2 carbon, and the mass of it is really quick too, but only being LV. It's actually way faster than the centrifuging of rubber wood. We only have 3k, and it's been running so much longer than this. We also have passive nitrogen from centrifuging air. You also get oxygen, but we're bidding it, because that way's so much faster. We also have a few passive dusts: nickel, wrought iron, canthal, and nichrome for the EBFs. I've also replaced various drums with super tanks, because we can craft them now. Not everything's switched over, just like free stuff, like sulfuric acid. We also have more dynamos. The EBFs use a lot of power, so we had to upgrade. Also more Endermen. We were very slowly going down on pearls, but not anymore. Also the CPUs are bigger, by like 3 times. And we have a few more single block machines, a compressor, 4 Fluix plates, and a few assembling machines on different circuits. We have 0, 1, 6, and 4. This is for casing and frame boxes, because those are used in like every multi-block, so it's nice to have them automated. Okay, so in today's episode, we've been tearing through circuits recently, so I want the next tier, which means we need epoxy, so that's the next objective. This should mean tier 3 HV, the nano processors, which are crafted directly, no MV, also cheaper EV, and so on. So we're going to need epoxy, which is quite the rabbit hole. This is the recipe: sodium hydroxide, which we do have, bisphenol A, and epichlorohydrin. I don't know what any of this is, but we're going to need propene for whatever this is, allyl chloride. So we need another distillation tower. So we want the most amount of propene. There is a bunch of ones you can do, but the greatest ratio, 300 liters, is severely steam cracked naphtha. We have normal naphtha, so we just add steam, which is free, in the oil cracking unit. It's the best ratio. It looks very cool, and we can make it straight away. There we go, the controller. So this multi-block also uses stainless steel casing, so we might as well automate it now. We have circuit 6 and 4. We need like 20. Easy as that. So we also need an input hatch, output hatch, also an input bus, just for the circuit. It's a bit weird. Maintenance hatch, and the recipe is HV, so I'll do 2 MV hatches. We might as well overclock this as well, the distillation tower. There we go, twice as fast. The last thing we need is coils, but we have plenty spare from those, so I think we'll be fine. So we need a naphtha input, also steam, so we need another fluid hatch. Okay, now we can do it. I want it here. There we go, first try. So we need to input naphtha, but it's up here. So fluid conduit. It's fine. And now we just need steam here. We need at least a bucket per 8 seconds. We can easily do that with a fluid heater. Yay. So steam is circuit 1. Okay, brilliant. Hide the input, do the maintenance. Also be quiet. So severely steam cracked is number 3, which we do have to set in the input bus. It did make the wrong thing, for like 1 second. Lightly steam cracked. We don't want that, but it should be making the right thing now. Severely steam cracked. Machine needs more energy. Oh. We didn't plug it in. Well, we plugged in one of them. It's still struggling though. Why is that? Have we finally got too many machines on this long line? Maybe. Okay, time to fix this. I need to split the line and add another one of these. How about splitting it here? So split, converter, pointing upwards. And we power this from below, and everything should be fine. Okay, so now this should be fine, I'm assuming. No? Did I do something wrong with the energy hatches? Oh, this is weird. I think we're supplying LV to this one. Let me move that to over here. For some reason it was only powered by this, but not by the MV wire. I'm not sure why. But we should be all plugged in now. There we go. The warning's gone. That's funny. But we are getting it now. Severely steam cracked naphtha. Huzzah! So now we're going to need another distillation tower. A very big one. To get everything here. Which is quite a lot. So this is 11 outputs. So it's going to be 12 tall. More than twice as tall as this one. But everything's automated now. So it should be easy peasy. There we go. We can make the controller. So we're going to need 1 input hatch. 11 output. And we don't need to run this at HV. It's already faster than the steam cracking. Look, 6 seconds versus 8. Obviously maintenance. And that should be everything in terms of hatches. I'm not sure the amount of casing, but it should give us an idea. So input, controller, energy, maintenance, and 11 output. So we're missing 1 plus 11 lots of 7 and 1 more. So 79. I'll go with 80, just in case. Pun intended. Only 300 stainless steel. That's quite a lot actually. Oh well. Oh, that was quick. That was like a minute. So it should be this. To the top. And 1 more for the middle. Looks like I did need the extra 1. I don't know where I went wrong with the counting. But it doesn't form. I love this multi-block. It doesn't make any sense. What have I done wrong? Oh, I am incredibly stupid. These are buses, not hatches. We do need 1 output anyway, for the carbon. So 11 output hatches, not buses. There we go. The output bus can go here, I suppose. And the hatches above. Yay! It formed, and solved the maintenance. So there's no point really storing this. So I'll just put a random drum here to move the liquid. This is the only use, basically. Or you can do this for each individual fuel. So now we're getting everything. Brilliant. Though please stop. I believe it does void stuff once they're full. So I need a bunch of tanks. Super tanks. 11. Yeah, we just need circuits, which is fine. Another 3 stacks coming up. There we go. These LV circuits are so cheap now. And they get even better with SOCs. Or SOCs. Which I don't believe we can do yet. I don't think. So this will always be slower than this. This is 6 seconds. And this is 8. And this is even slower, I think. So it was a good idea to overclock this. There we go. That should be enough. 11 super tanks. This is what the large pipes are for, by the way. I was wondering where the mold came from. And what I used it for. But it was super tanks. These two take so long, by the way. Rotors and fluid pipes. So maybe there's a better way to do it in the future. There we go. Super tanks. 1 on every hatch. Yay. It's amazing. Now we should be able to turn it on. And void excess. We do also get carbon, so we can put that in a drawer. With a void. And max upgrade. So we're now getting a bunch of stuff. A lot of these are useful. Methane, ethylene, ethane, propene, which is what we want, propane, butadiene, butene, benzene, toluene, light fuel, heavy fuel, and carbon. So I think I'll put a storage bus on each, so 11, but on extract only, because we're voiding excess. We don't want to void anything, just in case. 11 fluid storage buses. Again, this will take forever, because the rotors and the pipes, but it's not very expensive, just sort of slow. And I do need to upgrade the processors with acceleration cards. They're so slow. I can't be bothered. Yay, it's done. So 1 on each. Partitioned. And extract only. And plug everything in. Awesome. This looks cool. Actual oil processing. Petrochemistry. I think it's called that. I don't know. Okay, so we have propene now. So we're a bit closer to epichlorohydrin, since we can combine propene with chlorine, but allyl chloride. I will do this at HV. I think there is a step, which needs to be HV. Somewhere. So HV chemical reactor. And a fluid interface. So request chlorine and propene. And insert via filter. And circuit 1. Yay! This also gives us hydrochloric acid, a whole bucket. The allyl chloride does not have a use. I guess this, but why do you want to do that? So there's no point storing it really. We just make another chemical reactor. So the next thing we need is hypochlorous acid, which is more chlorine, water, and a little bit of mercury, which is from redstone. So I guess I'll start doing this. You get some goodies too, though incredibly slow. So centrifuging redstone time. I will do MV. So centrifuge, request redstone, and insert via filter. There we go. 32 seconds. But you do get 3 buckets, so it's 1 bucket per 10 seconds, which is completely fine. It should be able to keep up with this. It's only 1 bucket per 30 seconds, but it might be overclocked, so I don't know. So this will output into a super tank, because it's completely free, basically. And 3 drawers. Silicon, pyrite, and ruby. So these definitely need void, so it doesn't stop making mercury. Okay, so now we have mercury, and we might electrolyze ruby, though it's so slow it's not worth it, basically. It's 6 ruby for 1 chrome, so we've got 1 singular chrome from the couple of minutes this is running. Yeah, it's 32 seconds for 1 ruby, so 3 minutes per chrome. That's dumb, let's not do that. So now we can request the mercury over here. Oh yeah, storage bus. Forgot about that. There we go, and insert via filter. I feel like I say that a lot, like multiple times per episode. Wait, I should move this. Hypochlorous acid should go not here. This reactor should be for epichlorohydrin, so hypochlorous should be to the left, by like 2. Mercury, chlorine, and water, which is here. I guess I'll do that from below. There we go, and it's working. Not that slow, either. 8 seconds. So now we need the hypochlorous from here, and the allyl chloride from here, both into this one, to output into a drum. Do we store the hydrochloric acid though? Why not? We can put it here. We use a super tank. Just so we can void excess, and we don't need to mess with bins. There we go. Everything's working. We just need to input sodium hydroxide into this one, from an interface. And insert via filter. There we go. By the way, we're getting this over here, from electrolyzing salt water. It's where we get chlorine as well. So now we have epichlorohydrin. We can put this in a drum. We do need to filter it. There's multiple outputs. I think we'll bin the salt water. I don't really know what to do with it. So epichlorohydrin in this drum and bin with a filter. Salt water. Okay, we're good. I think. We're getting epichlorohydrin, so we need a storage bus. There we go. We're already out of chlorine. Lovely. It's so slow. Anyway, that's half of epoxy resin. Already. We just need to do bisphenol A. Phenol, acetone, and hydrochloric acid. Let's tackle phenol first. We just automate the parallelized oven, and auto-stock it with coal. I might overclock it a bit though. It's kind of slow. Oh wait, I forgot this needs steam. I tore it down, the fluid heater. I'll put it back. There we go. It's fixed. Yay! Maybe we should do better coils. Whoa! You can see the parallelized oven stats. Nichrome is 150%. Let's do that. That seems good. Nichrome's on passive, so 2 stacks should be fine. We have 400. So nichrome wire, stainless steel foil, and liquid aluminium. Makes the pretty blue coils that I've got everywhere. There we go. 1.5 times speed. So fluid heater, for steam. And we can insert coal via a filter. There we go. So phenol is circuit 14. I will disable it, just in case I make something different. Now go. Yay, 5-second phenol. Very nice. And you can go into a drum. And I guess a drawer for coke with a void. And max upgrade. And storage bus on this. There we go. So now we have to deal with acetone, and I've looked at hydrochloric acid, which is the third thing, and we don't have to worry about it. It's only one bucket, so we should be making enough from just this system, so we probably shouldn't store it. Since for epoxy resin, it uses one of this and one of this. This uses one hydrochloric acid, but the other side, epichlorohydrin, produces one hydrochloric acid with this step. So it should be 1-to-1, no excess. So I'll probably remove this once we do that. But let's do acetone first. And we're going to need calcium acetate, either this way or this way. But calcium acetate is this: calcium, acetic acid, and oxygen. And calcium we can get from bones. Somewhere. Here we go. Here's the step. You electrolyze it. So we need a DML system for bones. Right now we don't have that. We have tin instead. So one more skeleton, one more loop fabricator. We can just craft these now though. We don't need many bones. I don't think. There we go. A whole stack at a time. Okay, calcium. That was very easy to set up. We are macerating bones and electrolyzing. It's that simple. So now we can make dissolved calcium acetate. We just need acetic acid. This is the HV step that I was on about. I couldn't find it before. So acetic acid, or acetic, I keep saying it wrong. Ethylene and oxygen. We're getting ethylene from that now, and we're also making it over here. This is super fast. Already, 5 seconds. So I'm not going to waste a HV chemical reactor. I'll reuse this one later on. So give me an MV1. So ethylene and oxygen. And request them here. Circuit 2. Oops. I'm making the wrong thing. There we go. Acetic acid. Into a drum. Oh yeah, it's acidic. That's fine. This step is fast, so we don't need to store that much. Okay, that's good. And now back to HV, to make dissolved calcium acetate. And there's no use really, but to fluid heat. So oxygen, acetic acid, or acetic. I think I've said that wrong so many times. There we go. Also input the calcium. And request it here. There we go. Happy chemical reactor. Now we fluid heat. I will use a transformer. And it's circuit 1. Awesome. Acetone. Get in a drum. It might be used in a couple places in the future, so we're storing it. So now we should have everything, I'm pretty sure, for bisphenol A. So fluid filter, phenol, acetone, hydrochloric acid, and we just request them here. We just need a storage bus on this, but it might be a bit weird. It's fine. There we go. And circuit 1. Yay! Bisphenol A. Also this, which is half hydrochloric acid, basically. Why did I make it like this? It's so far away from that. I might just bin it. Who cares? And bisphenol A goes in the drum. There we go. Yay. Okay, that's epoxy basically done. It's one more chemical reactor. Epichlorohydrin, bisphenol A, and sodium hydroxide. Again. By the way, bisphenol A does not have another use, so I might not even store it. I'll just go straight into another reactor. So input via filter, the sodium hydroxide 2, and there we go. Epoxy resin. I'll also bin the salt water. I don't know what to do with it. Yay. Awesome. I feel like it's a bit janky, but oh well. Acetone is quite slow compared to everything else, but I can't really change that. It takes 20 seconds per one, so it's a bit mean, but can't do nothing really. At least we have it, so we should be able to fluid solidify into the sheets, and then it's just a chemical reactor with sulfuric acid and gold foil to get the circuit board, and that plus iron chloride and electrum for the actual circuit board, just like the other one. I might do that here, but I'm not really sure. I definitely want to passive this, like these two. We might as well, because it's so slow. But I'll do that tomorrow. I'll have a little break. Epoxy as a liquid is fine, for now. Alright, I'm back. I was very embarrassed by this setup, so I completely redid it. We're not voiding anything, and we're only storing excess of hydrochloric acid. We're distilling the diluted one back to normal. This is way better. I feel like it's not as wasteful, and we're completely full up on the drum, so that's quite nice. We're also electrolyzing the salt water to completely recycle everything with more chlorine and excess hydrogen, loads of it, apparently. So now we should be able to passive the epoxy boards. I've already done electrum. We needed the foil for this step. I will do this at MV, like these two. They're plenty fast. Well, not really, but they don't need to be. So one more chunk. The base is getting big. Okay, so this will run every 15 seconds, because we're doing MV. So we're going to need at least 8 gold foil every 15 seconds. So we need to do this step at MV2, because it's 10 seconds. And probably the same with electrum. Yes, just about. So 2 MV metal benders, and 2 chemical reactors. Also we need the actual sheets, but we can do this at LV. It's fine. 2 seconds. I will do that first. And a plate mold. So request epoxy, insert via filter, and plates. Yay! I'll only store a stack. It's way faster than this step, so it doesn't matter. And it's literally the only use. There we go. Is there a quest for this? It looks like we need to pick up every liquid for the quest to count. For some strange reason, it wants us to make the LCR first. I don't know why, but that needs go to hell. So maybe we have to do that. But it should be fine. When we do that, everything should count. Okay, so now it's the MV stuff. And maybe a light over here. It's a bit dark. Okay, so 4 machines. 2 bending. And 2 chemical reactors. So we can request gold, electrum, and the epoxy plates. Or sheets, or whatever. The 2 foils are circuit 10. Don't forget. There we go. And this one too. A stack of each of the foils. And now in the first chemical reactor, we insert sulfuric acid, the epoxy sheets, and gold foil. Also request it here. We have so much sulfuric acid, like a full super tank. There we go. I think we're out of power. Do we split the line again? Probably. Fine. Another converter coming up. These multi-blocks are a bit power hungry, I think. But it's easy enough to do this. Now we're getting power. Lovely. And we can store a stack of these. There's no point storing any more. Now we're on to the final step. Insert the epoxy boards and electrum foil. These might have to be limited item filters. On second thought. I'll fix it in a bit. And we also input iron chloride. And request it. There we go. Yeah, this is a bit faster than this one. I don't know why. And there we go. Epoxy circuit boards. Let me swap out the item filters to limited, just in case it breaks. There we go. That seems to work. Perfectly. Awesome. Wait, this might count if I get allyl chloride, which requires this quest, which is just oil in your inventory. And now we just need hypochlorous acid. Where is that? I'll just pick it up. Let's hope this counts. It does. And now the others? Maybe? No? Oh, it's a checkbox. Now it works, I think. Yeah, give me all the quests. You don't actually need an LCR. It was an OR task, so there's multiple routes. Okay, I'm glad that counted. So the passiving of these might be so slow that it doesn't matter. We're buffering on acetone now, and we should be buffering on chlorine very soon. So yeah, it's fine, just to leave on. Okay, so it's been a couple hours. We're about halfway full on the buffer. The main bottleneck is iron chloride, because we keep running out of chlorine, because this step is so slow. But the actual epoxy production is perfect, no problems whatsoever. So that's nice, I guess. We might have to fix iron chloride though. It's used for every circuit board, I'm pretty sure. So there will be problems later on. Anyway, another thing I've spotted. No oil. It's run out. I might move this to the void. There is less oil, and it's twice as worse. But it would be powered constantly, instead of a battery. So I'm gonna do that. And I guess I'll put it here. Perfect space. We can also move the ender tank to be below the super tank. It can auto output. Yay, oil. I feel like it's quite slow. Let's overclock. There we go. It's a little bit faster. I have no idea if this is infinite or not. Someone did say it was, but I couldn't see anything about that in here. But it will last a while. I believe. And it's the exact same products that you get out of it. Okay, so now this is fixed. It does look like this is slower than this first distillation tower, which is a bit annoying, but oh well. Okay, so we have epoxy now, so we should be able to make cheaper HV. The problem is, we need an EV circuit assembler, which requires IV circuits, which requires a HV circuit assembler. So we can do this bit, I guess. But we're eventually going to need EV machines, so we need titanium, the next tier of hull, for EV. So let's start looking at that. We're going to need rutile, from ilmenite, or bauxite. So which is more common? The max seems to be 33% for rutile per crushed ore. Or we can do aluminium, which does require sodium persulfate in the chemical bath. We can do this, I suppose. It might be worth it. Nah. Let's do ilmenite. You get double rutile if you thermal centrifuge and then macerate at HV for the byproduct. So ilmenite it is. But we still can't mine this. It's on the moon, or in the end. I guess we can buy it? We have money. Let's get like 4 stacks. I might as well thermal centrifuge at HV2. It's kinda slow. So we can set up a little ore processing here with the centrifuge and the macerator and some crates. Okay, let's do some processing. We have 3 stacks to start. So this should be at least a stack of rutile from just a centrifuge, and then a little bit more from this. So I'll guess a stack and a half. Oh yeah, I forgot it does that. There's multiple things. Let's do some filtering. Oops, got the quest. Okay, there we go. I was going to do 2 chests, rutile and not rutile, but why complicate it? This is easy. Everything goes in here. Also it's loud. Also, we're actually getting way more rutile with this. 31%. I thought it was 14% at HV, but it's 14% at ULV, even though you can't get it until HV, and plus 8.5% each tier. Macerating's very good then. It's a way bigger chance than I thought. We already have like 40. That's awesome. Okay, so the next step in titanium is titanium tetrachloride, whatever that is. Carbon, rutile, chlorine, which might be a problem. We don't have much at all, but you do get it back, I'm pretty sure. It's like a loop. So this gets you carbon monoxide and titanium tetrachloride, which goes in the blast furnace with magnesium, and you get 1 titanium out from 1 rutile, and magnesium chloride too, which you can completely recycle for the magnesium and the chlorine. So I would like to set up this loop for titanium processing. It should be fairly simple. So 1 HV chemical reactor plus 1 electrolyzer, and that should be it. Also an EBF, I suppose. Well, electrolyzer MV. It's very fast. Much faster than this step. I should be able to fit it here, in these 2 gaps. No we can't. 1 more chunk please. So chemical reactor, and electrolyzer. So I'll do 4 times this recipe. That should be enough for this to keep running at all times, I'm hoping. Also look at the rutile. Almost 2 stacks from 3 stacks of crushed. Pretty good. Let's process the rest. So rutile, carbon, and chlorine. There we go. Titanium tetrachloride. Also carbon monoxide. I don't know where to put that. How about we move this a little, by like 1 block, to account for 2 liquids. I won't void these 2. Don't worry. Super tank for carbon monoxide, so we can void excess. That goes there, and this goes in here. We just filter these 2. Okay, that should work. Now we just need to put this in a blast furnace, and because we're doing 4 times the recipe, we need 8 magnesium, or at least that. There's a ton of ways to get it. Pyrope. Let's go with that. There's also just magnesite that you can buy, and also find. Oh well, I just assume you couldn't mine it. There we go. A stack should be enough. Yay! We're also going to need an interface for this chunk, so we can input rutile and carbon into this one, and also magnesium chloride into this one. Also a limited item filter, so it doesn't break. Not for this one though. There's 1 input, so it doesn't matter. And we request them here, these 3. But this system should only consume rutile and carbon, but not the magnesium chloride. it gets recycled. You can get the carbon back from this, I think, but we have 1 billion carbon, so we don't need to worry. We'll be fine. Also so much rutile. We're swimming in it, so we just need storage buses. On these two. Well, not this one, technically, but it's nice to have. Okay, we should be ready to set up the EBF. It will be EV to fit in with those 4. So 1 input hatch, 1 input bus, 1 output bus. We have plenty, and a maintenance hatch, and a muffler hatch. And we just need the coils. Nichrome, of course. There we go. Let's build the EBF while that's making. The input hatch is very annoying. I've nowhere to put it. How about here? It's the only place that fits. Okay, that works. Army coils done. Lovely jubbly. I've got a much more sensible place for the input hatch. Here. Because the interface is going here with the output bus, just like the others. And look what we can do. Black fluid interface in this block space. Much better. So we request this, also magnesium, which I do have here, and plug it in. There we go, the fluid's inside. We just sort out the input of magnesium. There we go. And now we give it power, and it should start working. Oh yeah, maintenance. There we go. So this should be immediately cooled into titanium. And the output's electrolyzed already. We just fluid auto output to the right. And extract the magnesium back into the interface. There we go. This should be a loop. Awesome. I guess we should do redstone control. I guess for the future, because right now we just want to burn everything. We don't have that much rutile. So machine controller, inverted, level emitter. 1024. Great, we should have titanium now. Yay. Titanium. Awesome. I'm glad it just worked immediately. So now we can make EV machines, which is crazy. We can do so much now. But I did spot something. Tier 2 microminer. We haven't done tier 1 yet, so maybe we should look into that next episode. So I think I'll end it there. We got the big purple ingot, my beloved, and we can delve into EV. But we should definitely do microminers before we do any of that, probably. I feel like I've just avoided it, for no reason. Anyway, all to look forward to next episode, so I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.